Welcome, Snack Attackers. My name is Jason, and I have another potentially fantastic product to review for you guys today. But first, I want to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, all the fun YouTube stuff, and let's get to talking about this product. On this channel, we've reviewed a lot of the meat alternatives and vegan and vegetarian products that are coming out. It's probably due to the fact, and we're reviewing a lot of those, is that as the Impossible Burger and I forget the other ones, but as a bunch of companies are making huge strides in synthetic meat or meat alternatives, I suppose, we're starting to see a lot of new products from that. Well, finally, for the first time, we're seeing soups in cans from products. This is from Gardein, or Gardein, I still don't know how to pronounce them. But this is their plant-based beef and vegetable soup made with plant-based beef and country vegetables. So here's the thing about this. They came out with about 4 different flavors of soup. There's a sausage gumbo, a chicken rice, this, and like something else. And this is the only one I really wanted. There's a couple reasons. It's one of my more favorite soups, but the other ones I just like wasn't interested in. They had like chunks of tomatoes and stuff like that. And although I am I've had a tomato, I still don't seek them out. We've said that before. This, I also have a lot of, I think this is going to work. I think it's going to taste fine. Why? Because in a lot of actual meat products, they use this thing called TVP, textured veggie protein. I think it's TVP. It's not going to say here, is it? I believe it's TVP, which is textured vegetable protein, and basically it's a filler that you can put into things like this that allows you to use a smaller amount of meat, and therefore it saves some profit margins. Because things like this, like I assume a lot of Campbell's things has like TVP and stuff like that, I just don't think this is going to taste all that different. There are a few other things that we kind of have to talk about, and there's less humor in this because this is a more serious part. And I mean, this video is a little more serious to begin with. This was purchased for $2.99 at Mariano's. That's a lot for a canned soup. The thing about canned soups is that they're pretty cheap. I think there was a sale at Meijer one time when I was in college where it was 10 for 10 of just chicken noodle. Maybe some of the chunky ones are more expensive, but actually, let me check. Let me be informed before I talk about this. Okay, so depending on what kind of soup you get, based on either just basic chicken noodle or one of their fancier ones, it's about $1.79 to around $2.50 was the higher end one I was seeing. That's still cheaper than this, which is again $2.99. This has been my problem from the beginning with all of these meat alternatives. They're never going to make huge strides in the market until they are cheaper or less expensive than their meat counterparts. Because right now, the only people who can afford to be vegetarian and vegan in a meat replace, not just eating veggies or stuff like that, are people who have a lot more money. That's not great, and I've been saying since the beginning that until they are the same value or equal or lesser, they just are not going to make huge strides in the market. I microwaved this. I did not cook it on the stove because that's what I would do. I'm getting a little bit of beef, a little bit of beans, a little bit of carrot, and a little bit of peas. Although I probably should be trying the beef on its own. The first bite, I'm going to get a little bit of everything. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Snack attack. Yeah. Here's the thing about soup beef. It doesn't taste super beefy. It doesn't. This has a different texture than that beef. It doesn't shred. It's a little gummier. I'm getting just the beef now. You might be able to tell something's up. You might be, if you put this in front of someone, I think they would probably think that you have a really low quality soup. carrots always bring me down in soup. I don't like cooked carrots much. Sorry, I'm getting a potato too now. Yeah. Honestly, okay. It's fine. It tastes like a cheap beef and vegetable, stew. Or soup, because it's not hearty like a stew. I'm looking if there's anything of note on the can. Something I always do after I've already talked about the product, and I probably should have done from the beginning. I should have had a plan, but I don't. It's fine. It's far more expensive than I believe its counterpoint is. Let me actually look at what Campbell's beef and vegetables cost. Could be having the editor do this after the fact, but... Okay, so finding the price for that was very complicated. They have a bunch of different ones, and they don't, online sell it by one can. I saw one for 50 cents, and I saw another for, $1.50. So from 50 cents to $1.50 is how much one Campbell's beef and vegetable cost, whereas this is $2.99. It's $3. It's almost double the price of the high-end bought from, I don't know, but it was for sale at a place called Mercado for 50 cents. So it's just the price point's just not there. It is flavor-wise going to get a snack attack. Flavor-wise, it's going to get a snack attack, yes. I like this soup. I don't like the carrots. The carrots are in the original as well. Bummer, bummer, super bummer. Bummer summer. Bummer, bummer, super hummer. Drummer on a tummer. Like a tummy. Drumming on a tummer. Drummer on a tummer. I don't know what I'm talking about either. Eat, however, out of 10, you can't, there's something up with the beef, and you can kind of tell that something's up with it. It's close, though, and I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. That's more because it's close to the flavor of cheap beef. But I don't know if that's something that you super want to strive for. Maybe you want to be better, but first get there and first walk, then we can run. However, the question we asked around here is not, has there been a giant sword of Damocles hanging over this whole review ever since I mentioned price point? But it's, would you buy it again? And that sword of Damocles is about to fall because, no, it's far too expensive for what you're getting. I do understand that as these companies begin to make leaps and bounds in meat alternatives, they eventually will get cheaper, and first, you have to walk before you can run. I understand that. But when you release this and it's right next to the Campbell's, and people who are vegetarian or vegan, because I believe this is vegan, no eggs, no dairy, yep, that's vegan. Yeah. And it's right next to it, they think that they have a safe alternative, whereas it would probably be cheaper to buy the normal one and put, I don't know, tempeh or something. It's just, the price is, it's pushed me away. It's pushing me away, and I'm sorry. Gardein. I'm sorry, but until you become as, cheap or less than Campbell's, you don't have a market here, because this isn't like the say Amy's or Progresso where they charge more because it's a fancier soup. This is trying to be the same as your cheap soup, but no meat, veggie, or no meat, egg, or dairy. But with a price that high, I don't think it's worth it. But remember to check Instagram, Twitter, all the fun social media stuff. Sorry that this is more of a dour episode. Sometimes we gotta have a talk, Sometimes we gotta have a talk. Come in, son. Close the door. It's time for the talk. And I'll see you in the next one.